Hello, everybody.
Hi guys.
Welcome back to the CHG podcast here. How are you doing, David?
I'm doing good. I just got done with the day of subbing, so pretty
Oh,
good.
subbing. Sorry, I was like, what
Yeah,
the fuck did you say?
subbing.
Oh, subbing. Yes, because you're trying to be a teacher now.
Yes, sir.
Um, cool. I just got off as well. Looks like we're out there working that daily grind
Yup.
together, separate but together. How you liking the subbing so far?
It's good. It's good. I don't know. Kids have been all right. I think I can handle them better than other people can. Like apparently the sub that the day before was having a hell of a time. Like he was sending kids to the office and like all sorts of stuff, crazy stuff. And I
Have
was
you
just
met
like,
any of the people in your who are also subs?
I met some guys, some people at orientation, and I met like one sub one time. He was an older guy,
Okay,
but
I was just curious if are a lot of them around your age? Or are they older?
no, most of them are older. Like most subs are a lot of younger people are getting into it now just because it pays decently well, and people are finding that it's pretty easy. I mean, you don't have to do much, but
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think that people know how to handle kids. So
Well, especially when they're old. I mean,
yeah.
um, them boomers, right? They don't know how to discipline. They have
Yeah.
their old school ways.
Yeah,
You're
they don't
part
know
of the
how to.
new generation.
Yeah,
You know how to talk to these kids.
I think I do. Hopefully, I do.
Well, it's good, be good practice for you.
Yeah.
Um, so welcome everybody. So this is our 13th episode. Can you believe that?
Ooh.
3 months of this shit. um, Thanks for sticking with us, guys. Hope you guys like this stuff. This week we're going to be covering video game movies. We're going to be touching that. The Uncharted trailer dropped yesterday, I believe. The official one dropped
Yeah.
yesterday. I think it was leaked the day before or something.
I saw it today, but yeah.
But I think it was released officially yesterday. Um, but we're gonna that's gonna be like the focus of today's podcast today. But before we get into that, what are you playing, David? Are you playing anything?
I jumped back on Hades a little bit, so I was playing Hades, a couple rounds of Hades, but I haven't had much time to play video games lately. I've had my midterms the last
Them good
this
old
week.
midterms.
Yeah.
Oh man, midterms. Um, I will play Hades eventually because yeah, and I will be exclusively using God mode the entire time because
I
I
don't
heard
you
you can have it
I don't think you can
and you.
unlock God mode until after you beat it one time.
We'll see. What the thing is, like, it doesn't delete any trophies or achievements if you use it. So I'm like, oh, that's exactly what I wanted to hear. So I
Oh,
will
God
play it
mode, like
eventually.
you're a lot better. Okay,
Yeah, not hell mode. I
yeah.
think God mode is now supposed to be where you're the god, not the enemies are gods.
Okay.
I think because I remember that. I remember back in the day. I
You
remember
cheapskate.
remember absolutely. I will guilty as charged. I don't give a shit. Um, I remember back in the day, like in the PS2 and in the PS3 era, like you would unlock like
Yeah.
hero mode
Yeah,
or
yeah.
god mode, and they never explained what the fuck it was exactly. They never said like you unlock god mode, so now all the enemies have 25% more health, or like you do 25% more damage now on everybody. They never said any of that, so you had to like go in and you're like, okay, so what's the difference? I don't know what's changed here at all. Um, and I still think it's not always the same depending on what game you play. I
Yeah.
don't think it's the
I
same.
guess it just depends on
So
the theming and stuff.
yeah, I think it depends on the theming, like what they're trying to do, all this stuff. 'Cause the big example I have personally is Heavenly Sword. You remember that game?
Yeah.
PS3 launch title,
Yeah.
PS3 exclusive. It takes like 4 hours to beat,
As most
but it had
exclusives do.
yeah,
Most
launch title
launch titles
exclusives.
do. Yeah.
Yeah. But it was basically female God of War for everyone who doesn't know. It's a phenomenal game. Still stands up to this day, I think. The mouth motion capture is actually still some of the best I've ever seen in any game. But when you beat it, you unlock hero mode or something or God mode. And I remember thinking like, what does this mean? Is this good or is this bad? Should I play it? Like I never knew what the fuck it was. But yeah, but those days are over. Now they tell us. Now they tell us what it is. It's great to hear. Um, So, anyways, as far as for me, I'm still playing Borderlands 1. I finished the stupid Mad Moxie Underdome shit. That's done. I
Congratulations.
was able to get through it. Thank you. Thank you. I will take that. Thank you. Thank you for thanking me or for congratulating me. It was a fucking struggle. Okay. Um, I for some reason I don't know if I was just finding the right groove, but like it seemed to be that I was using a corrosive weapon, and then it was kind of getting rid of a lot of the enemies just entirely removed from the map rather than kind of pieces being there. So I think that helps. I wanted to mix it up in the last map and use a fire weapon, but then it glitched out in the second round. So I was like, okay, let me just go back to the corrosive, and I did that, and then it worked, and so oh my gosh. So I moved on to the General Knox. Do you remember that? I know you didn't play, but do you remember that
Yeah, I
DLC?
remember the DLC.
So I'm doing the General Knox DLC, and that's where you can fight the first raid boss, Krara Max. Um, and it's also where you get it's the only place you can get the pearlescent rarity weapons and gear and stuff. And there's a build for Lilith, who I'm playing as, that requires a piece of that. Um, and so you can either get it by killing Kraramax or by raiding, because at the end you get a chance to raid General Knox's like vault or whatever, we'll call it a vault.
Mm.
And there's like hella chests, but you technically only have like 2.5 or 3 minutes to get as much as you can, which is not enough time to get everything. But there's a glitch to where you can actually glitch through the bottom of the map before you get to the actual elevator that takes you down, and then the timer doesn't start, and you can just loot everything at your leisure. And then if whatever when you're done, you just exit. You just press the exit button like out of the entire game, and then you do have to travel all the way back and fight General Knox again, but it allows you to infinitely keep doing the vault and then like farming for the weapon you're looking for. So
Nice.
um, I found a couple of them that I needed, but the pearlescent one just not showing up. So I'm gonna hold off on it and then just beat Caramax and then try it on my playthrough too and see what happens. But I'm happy regardless. But I'll be moving on to Claptrap's DLC. Did you do that one at all? The
No,
Claptrap's
I
New
didn't play
Revolution?
one like at all.
Man.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do that next pretty soon. Which is gonna be, I played it before and it's a lot of, it's really dumb. It's Claptrap and it's fun and dumb. So yeah, and I've been continuing on Crash Bandicoot. I have 18 platinum relics now. I'm one away from halfway. So I have one more that I'm halfway done. Um, so yeah, but I have 20 levels to go. Yeah, I sometimes I surprise myself like of how like fit quick I get through a level. Particularly, I'm like, man, okay, that wasn't so bad. Um, but then there's always a couple that are just like, oh my gosh. But I will say, so far, I am getting like the platinum relic for a level a lot faster. I'm getting that like for a particular level, I'm getting that done faster than when I was going for the insanely perfect relics,
Yeah.
which was you can't die and
Yeah.
you have to get all the boxes. So um because there's a debate. If you go to like the crash forums and Reddit and shit like that, everyone's just like, what is like which is harder, platinum relics or insanely perfect relics, right? Because they both require precision, but of different
Yeah.
kinds. And so I will say that so far the platinum relics have been easier, but the anxiety is the same because
Because
like
one
to be
mistake can
that,
just.
yeah, you can mess up one time and then that's it, right? And then or maybe you think you can still continue if you maybe slipped up a slightly, but then you have the increased anxiety of like, are you gonna make it, are you gonna make it, are you gonna
Yeah, or
make it?
should you just
Like it's
redo it or just restart right there?
yeah.
Yeah.
Now sometimes you're like, okay, you just realize like it's not worth it, just die, right? um but sometimes you're like, can I make it, and then you just keep going, but like that anxiety is just, it just kills you, man. It's one thing to watch something like that and get that anxiety. It's another to be in the moment and doing it yourself. Like it's oh man, it's rough. But I guess as far as execution wise, it has been easier. Because some of the levels for the insanely perfect rush would take me 2-3 hours, and I'm not even joking, man. They would take me hours for one level. And so, but like I can get 2 or even 3 sometimes done in just a evening, like a couple hour session in the evening. So um yeah, but We'll continue on. I'm just continuing on one level at a fucking time.
All right, so
Um,
I got the
yeah.
question for today. Yeah.
Oh snap!
I
Okay,
just
go
came up
ahead.
with it mainly because I don't know why, but it just popped in my head something I want to talk about, and I'm like, well, it has nothing to do with movie games, so and then I figured a way to form it in a question. So, what is a game exploit that you've used that was not clearly intended for use? Like it wasn't like an Easter egg or something. It was just like it was an exploit or a cheese or something that you used in a game. Like what's your favorite one?
Well, are we talking like by that? Do you mean like can they be known?
They can be known. They just can't
Okay,
be like
okay,
intended, like clearly
okay,
intended.
okay. Yeah, like a shortcut in a racing game or something.
Something. Yeah.
Okay, 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 okay. Um,
I got mine if you want to take a little bit to think.
I don't have a favorite, especially since you're just putting those on me
I
now.
know.
Like if you give me more time, I could have maybe thought of one, because there's been I use so
All right,
many.
I'll tell you
I
my
am
first. I know, and I
I use
figured
so
you'd
many,
use a
man.
lot, especially if you're, how many time trials and stuff that you do. I'll tell you mine. So in Las Vegas, in
Fallout New.
Fallout New Vegas, in the DLC Dead Money
Mhm.
at the boss fight, right? You go into the basically this vault of the person who of the bad guy of the DLC.
Oh, with all the gold
Yeah,
bars.
and all the gold bars.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh, I remember that one. Yeah, I know about that
that
one.
one,
Yeah, yeah,
dude.
yeah.
It like I like there's all the gold bars, right? And like and they waste so much that you get encumbered.
Oh, so much. Yeah.
And like you can't you'll die. Like you can't fight him and get out of there with the gold bars because I think you have to make it there in a certain amount of time too, before like the vault blows up or something like that or locks
Maybe.
forever.
It's
One
been
of the
so
two.
long. I don't
Anyway,
remember.
and I I didn't even look it up. I was wondering. I wonder if I could sneak and get out with all these gold bars. And I was trying to do it, and I couldn't do it. And then I actually looked it up to see if it was possible. And there's this whole forum that's like, you have to use the stealth boy, and you have to like get like specifically in this one corner of the room before the door opens, and then just like as soon as the door opens, go and like take this direct path and cut corners and stuff. And yeah, you're able to get out of the DLC with like all this gold ballers that's like infinite money basically.
Oh, yeah.
uh
It's basically an infinite money
yeah,
glitch.
it was basically an infinite money glitch. And yeah, I love that one. Like I like it because I feel, and I could be wrong, I feel like the DLC, like Bethesda or Obsidian, meant for you to like want to take it but not be able to. So like I feel like that was the theme for the DLC because it was all about people being greedy and not being able to, that killing them. So I feel like that was the theme, but and then just being able to circumvent that in both the gameplay and the narrative is just perfect.
Greed wins
Greed
every time,
wins, bro.
people.
Greed finds a way.
Greed will find a
Greed
way.
finds a way.
If that ain't
Yeah.
true, I don't know what is. I do remember that one. Yeah, I think I did something about that. I think I tried doing that. I don't to
It
some
took me
extent because I
so
remember
many tries.
because didn't you have to when you got out of the deal, you still had to like dump them and then because after you got out of that place, you couldn't continue to walk
You
with them.
could,
I thought you had to drop
you
them
would just be
off.
encumbered. So
Well,
because the
yeah,
DLC
yeah.
finishes after you get out of that vault.
Yes, yes, I'm talking about yeah, but like so like I mean, you took them all out with you, but then yeah, okay, you're encumbered. So you have to drop them. You have to like if you want to actually move a real pace,
Yes,
you have to like
but
drop off some and then keep
I
going
didn't. I
back if
just
you want to
walked all
keep
the way
coming.
back to.
You walked the whole what I didn't do that.
I
That's what I
walked all
remember
the
now.
way.
I
I
didn't do
walked all
that.
the way to a store, sold as many as I could, and then I was barely unencumbered, and then I fast traveled.
But you're not that close to any store. It's a
I,
long
I
trek, especially with your unencumbered
it was the summer.
or
It
over
was the
encumbered.
summer and the summer. It was the summer, and I just walked it. I didn't have anything else to do.
See, I remember that. I was like, I don't need it this bad. So I dropped off what I could and I just took what I had and I was like, I'm fine. I didn't
Yeah,
need it. So,
not
but I
me.
do remember doing that. I
Not
do
me.
remember doing that. I didn't realize how slow I was going to be moving and I was like, I'm not doing this four times
Yeah,
in a
not
row.
me.
Um, and I'm also not just gonna. I'm just not doing this. Anyways, um, yeah, dude, I don't even know of any particular one to pinpoint because like if there's a cheese or like if there's
I
anything that will make me break the game, I'll use it. So I don't care. Like because that people don't like to use it. They have all this like gamer integrity and shit. You know what? I don't give a fuck about that. Okay, me being able to break a game, cheese it, be overpowered, that's fun for me. Okay, that's how I get my rocks off when I play games. So I've done them in like any game that you could think of that might have a glitch that can benefit you. I
like
probably used it.
Neo.
Like Neo had a bunch. Well, not anymore because they nerfed it all to hell. But like Neo 2 had like some crazy breaks that you could do or cheesies you can do that I don't know if I was able to. I was playing something else at the time, but like I was definitely trying to take advantage of that. You know what? I'll give you an example because I might be using it when we play as we continue Last of Us. There is a shiv glitch, an infinite shiv glitch. Do you know of it?
No, but I know you mentioned it because you were like, I'm gonna use
Yes.
this because I need chips.
Yes, it is. It is a savior when you're playing on grounded or survivor mode. Um, I'll try not to use it because we are playing in front of the people. But when I played it, I'll absolutely use the hell out of it. So what is basically, guys? You need to have already in your inventory, I think, a shiv on hand or like some parts of a shiv on hand before you start it. And it's some kind of it's really simple actually. That's what's beautiful about it. It's so simple. It's a matter of just swapping out um like a an enhanced melee weapon that's already been like modified. You know, like so like for those who have played like the baseball bat with like the two scissors on the side or a plank or whatever it was. Like so if you find one on hand, um it's like if you need to have another melee weapon already in your inventory and you swap them out, you just keep grabbing them back and forth. And when you do, for some reason, you get a shiv every time you do it. So as long as you hold on to that melee weapon with the enhanced one and you find another melee weapon, all you need to do is just keep swapping them out and you get infinite shivs more or less. So that one is one I use the hell out of because it's very nice to be able to just always have that on hand. So yes, I guess that'll be a specific
Nice.
example that I will give. Not my favorite, but it is one since he's putting me on blast here. That's one I could
Gotcha.
think of right away. Um,
Nice.
so yeah.
So
Anyways,
movies.
we will transition to movie adaptations. I think that's how
Yeah.
you should say it. So like I said, like we said at the top of the episode here, Uncharted trailer was
Mhm.
shown. Yes, well today's the 22nd, the 21st I think was October 21st I think was the official release date for the trailer. Although I think it was leaked the day before that, and we saw it, we watched it by individually ourselves, and we wanted to talk about not just that trailer but just game movies in general. Um, but first, let's just start off with the Uncharted. So I watched it, and man, fuck, like I wasn't gonna watch it regardless. Well, actually, I might have, just because like I feel like I needed to, because like that was the reason why I watched Tomb Raider. I was like, I feel like I have to watch this. Like it's a responsibility for me to watch this. Um, but like I wasn't gonna watch the trailer before we decided to do this for the podcast, because I already knew what I was expecting. It was pretty much exactly what I expected it to be. Um, it's a mess. It's a jumbled mess. If you want to be critical here, if you want to just be a casual moviegoer who doesn't really know that much about the Uncharted source material, it's like it's almost like a mix between Indiana Jones and James
But like,
Bond.
isn't that what Uncharted is? Is a mix between Indiana Jones?
No,
It really is, though.
Indiana Jones, but not with the James Bond shit.
You said Indiana
That
Jones
wasn't
and did you say James Bond?
James.
Oh, my bad. Maybe I heard
Yeah,
something
just
else.
James Bond. What do you
I
think?
don't
What do
know.
you think
I
I
don't
heard?
fucking know. I don't,
Well, what do you
I
think I
don't
said?
fucking
There we go. No, Indiana Jones, absolutely, and there's no doubt about it. But like, no, they never mix it with James Bond. That was weird. Um, it's just it sucks because I played. Well, I didn't play the fourth one yet, but I played the first three, and it sucks because I had played the first three.
So what
Um,
specifically don't you like, or don't you like from what you think they're doing?
you know what? I didn't really care. I didn't get all up in arms when when they first started showing who was going to be, Drake and Sully. I was like, okay, Tom Holland's Drake. All right,
Nathan,
whatever. Um, oh yeah, Nathan
there's
Drake.
two
Drake.
Drakes.
I'm still right. Wait, oh gosh,
There's
there's two
there
Drakes now.
his
I thought that's
brother.
what. Well, yeah, okay. What? But come on, man. When everyone says Drake, they know we're talking about Nathan. Let's be real. Don't you correct me right now. Um, but yeah, he's gonna be Nathan. Mark Wahlberg, Sully. Um, I didn't even care that didn't have a mustache. I was like, all right, I let all that go. What I didn't like, I think what bothered me the most is that it was such a hodgepodge of Uncharted 2 through 4. But it's also weird because it's supposed to be some kind of like origin movie of sorts too, like some kind of prequel to like because it stars them when
Mm,
they're young, when they're supposed to be younger. So it's like it's a prequel, but yet they still take bits from from the games
yeah.
2 through 4 because Chloe's in it. I like Chloe, who they found for her. She looks close enough to a Chloe. If I were to like try to envision one. Um, but then it's like she said in the trailer, like Sully has no friends. I should know I'm one of them. And I'm like, Chloe was an acquaintance of Drake's, of Nathan's in the game. They were lovers before. And so and then there's also
Well, no,
what
they
was
knew
his name?
each other. No,
Or whatever.
Chloe and him knew each other before, because
Well, we never
they had
well, in
run
the
into each
game,
other on jobs.
if they had known each other, that was never really explored very
Not
deeply
explored deeply,
in the
no, but it
games.
was mentioned in the games.
What we got explored though was the fact that Nathan and her had a
Yeah.
relationship. That was definitely shown explicitly, and then so that's never being acknowledged. So it's interesting that she wouldn't know solely before Nathan. Um, that's kind of interesting. And then there's also the other guy who I remember Chase, I think his name was in the second game, that was working with Chloe at the
Oh, the
time.
rich dude,
The other
the
dude,
rich
yeah,
prick.
the other
Yeah.
guy, yeah, that guy. He Harry, I think his name was Harry. Anyways, he's not in it, so it's like interesting. Also, I was really upset that they like so it almost seems like they're based off the trailer. It might be in the movie, but based off the trailer, it seems to me that they're omitting one entirely, which is a shame because Eddie Raja is the fucking best villain in the entire series. Like he's so awesome. He's not the main villain, but he's Eddie Raja is to the I think his name was Roman. Roman something something. Or Gabriel Roman, I think his name was. He's like the main baddie of Uncharted 1. Eddie Raja is to Roman what what's his name, Voss. I'm losing it. Far Cry 3's dude to the main guy. Like it's the same. Like that's like the best
Yeah.
translation I can
Voss
make
was
here.
right. Voss.
Um, Voss. Okay, yeah. So but like Eddie Raja, he's awesome. People love that guy. He has like these gold guns. He's like super brash and arrogant. He just looks like he's just a guy you want to punch in the mouth. So like it's a shame that he wasn't shown. I hope he's in the movie because he could be a very charismatic antagonist for a movie like this. So like I was mostly upset that it's such a hodgepodge of multiple games.
Mm.
And I know you can argue like, oh, it's a movie and you have 2 hour runtime and you have it's like you have 4 games. What do you do? Or I guess 4.5 if you consider Lost Legacy. Um I would honestly like I mean, because this is a movie, this is going to be it's going to attract like a large, a widespread, audience here. I don't. If since that's the case, I don't see why they could have just stuck with one of the games as the main thing. Um, I also didn't like the fact that based off the trailer at least, Drake has like no personality at all. Um, Nathan has no personality that he's like really shown, which is weird because if you played Uncharted 3, we get a little bit of a origin story of Drake. of Nathan Drake. We got that in Uncharted 3. And so even then, he was kind of a bit of a smartass, even then. Um, but this and in here, like he had like one wisecrack remark to Sully when they first met at like the bar that he was bartending. But other than that, nothing. Like I was expecting him to, kind of be a little cockier, be a little more funnier at least, or something. And it's like, why is this so serious? That series was never it never took itself that seriously. Like just seriously enough, but Drake always had some charm to him, always at all times, which made you like him. But this portrayal so far has been really flat and boring, and that bugged me too. So it's not the actors themselves. It's just what they're being. It's how they're being told to impersonate the characters that is really upsetting me. Um, Chloe seemed the most authentic, and we saw her for like 10 seconds. She seemed the most authentic character out of everybody so far we've seen from the games at all. Yeah. I mean, I guess I also don't really, I have like I don't know why, I had like this vendetta against Mark Wahlberg ever since he replaced Shia LaBeouf in Transformers. I don't know why. Like
I didn't
when
like
I first
Shiloh
saw that
that
he
much,
was,
so
oh, I loved him in
Shiloh in
that
the
movie.
last movie it was
Oh,
horrible. That movie was horrible. I mean, none of
people
the
could say,
Transformers past the second Transformers was
yeah,
good, but
whatever, man. First of all, I don't even know which one's which. They all have a subtitle, so it's like hard for me to remember which one's which. But I I don't know. I guess we were all really young, so kind of like we were kind of growing up with it. You know what I mean? Like
I
we were
get you.
teenagers when the first movies were hitting. So like 3 movies in, it's like this is established. This is what I'm expecting. And then Mark Wahlberg shows it up, and they don't even explain anything about it either. There's not even a transition from like them to them. It's just like, oh, Bumblebee and Optimus are hanging out with Shia the whole time. They have a whole relationship, and then for all of a sudden, for some reason, oh, we're going to go see Mark Wahlberg. What the fuck? Like it's just, oh gosh. So he rubbed me the wrong way ever since. So I have a personal vendetta against Mark Wahlberg. It's unfounded, completely unfounded, but I can't help it.
Cool. Is it
Those are my initial
cool?
thoughts.
So my initial thoughts are kind of mixed. So one, just like my opinion with like Last of Us 2 and other controversial like takes on shit is I will let the storytellers show me the story they're trying to tell. Like, does it suck that um they are kind of like mixing stuff? Yes. Did I want Nathan Fillion to be Nathan Drake? Absolutely. It's still the obvious choice.
You and the rest of the
Yeah,
world.
it's still the like I don't care. I do not care that Nathan Fillion is older now. Just do an Uncharted after Uncharted 4. Don't give a shit. Like Nathan, as much as Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool, Nathan Fillion is Nathan Drake.
What? Okay, I have to have a confession. So I don't follow Hollywood. I don't follow actors and actresses very much at all, except for the very select few that I
Mm.
like. Um, I know Nathan Fillion the name. I don't know anything he's been
Okay,
in. So why is it that he's so
so
attached to this,
one,
like
we
by
can't do it
fans?
now,
Why?
but we together will watch the he fan made a trailer for Uncharted.
Oh, I did hear about
We'll
that. Okay,
watch
I remember
that.
that.
It's amazing. He was in
Okay,
Firefly, the cult.
is that from the '90s
No, it's
or something?
mid 2000s. Uh,
Oh,
it was amazing. Like it's one of the best cult shows ever. Very good.
okay,
And basically, it's his character is basically Nathan Drake in space. Like and that's why people were
okay,
so on him to do Uncharted because his
okay.
character is basically Nathan Drake in space. Um, he did he was Hammerman in Doctor Horrible sing along blog.
Nope.
God, do you not even exist on the internet? Anyway, uh, it's also amazing, and you should watch it. Um, he was Castle in Castle, the show Castle. Basically, he is Nathan Drake. He's a handsome dude and he knows it. He wisecracks, but like all of his characters wisecrack just like all the fucking time.
Okay.
He's the perfect role. Now, do I understand why they're doing Tom Holland? Yes, I love Tom Holland. Tom Holland's really good. He's also good at wisecracking. So I hope that the trailer just didn't show it. Like what the trailer tried to do is it tried to establish Nathan and what's the old guy's name? Sully, thank you. Nathan and Sully's relationship. It tried to establish that. It tried to sell the whole Indiana Jones-esque kind of we're searching for treasure type thing. And then the action, which I guess are all points, but it's not the points that we love Uncharted for. We didn't love Uncharted because it was a pretty much carbon copy Indiana Jones or a gender flip Tomb Raider. We loved Uncharted because Nathan Drake is hilarious and we want to be Nathan Drake. Like that's why we love Uncharted. Because we want to believe that we can be that good looking that we can say whatever the fuck we want to say and also get the girl. Like that's why we love Nathan Drake. So like yeah, I'm a little disappointed, a little bit worried. But I like Tom Holland enough that I think that he can pull it off. I am in your corner with Marky Mark. I think he's terrible in 90% of the movie. 99% of the movies he's in. The only movie I've ever liked that Marky Mark was in was The Good Guys with Will Ferrell.
With The Rock and oh, that one. I thought it was the other one with The Rock and another big dude.
No.
But no, yeah, I know what you're talking about though. Yeah, the buddy comedy movie.
The buddy cop comedy.
Yeah.
That was hilarious. Okay. And he did a really good job in it. There might be one more that I'm forgetting. I have a feeling that there was one more movie he was in that I was like, okay, that was good. But other than that, he's terrible in all of his movies. So yeah, I'm a little bit worried about him being Sully. I'm a little bit worried about the age thing. Like we're never with Tom Holland, we're never going to get an older Nathan Drake. Because I swear to God, Tom Holland will never age. Like he's always going to look like a little kid. You know, so
and that's actually part of the reason.
Which is perfect for Spider-Man. Perfect for Spider-Man.
Yes.
Because Peter Parker never aged.
Was a teenager.
Yeah, like even when he was 20-something and married to Mary Jane, he still looked like a teenager. So like he's perfect for Spider-Man. But it sucks that we'll never get like an older grown-up Nathan Drake.
Well, who knows? Maybe they'll do like an end credit
teaser.
If Nathan Fillion shows
in
up
this movie
at the end.
like kind of how they put Donald Glover in Spider-Man as a Easter egg. Like
in the movie or the games?
In the movie.
Oh, they did.
Yeah,
huh?
Have you never seen Spider-Man? Holy God. You've watched things. Okay, yes. Donald Glover was in Spider-Man as like a kind of an Easter egg to the fans of like, yeah, we know that you wanted a black Spider-Man and we wanted it to be Donald Glover, but like we didn't. So here's Donald Glover.
So we did it.
But yeah, so like that would be great. But yeah, I mean, overall, like I'm gonna see it. If it's a good movie, then I'll be happy. I'm not expecting it to be a representation of the source material beyond the concept and the names, and I'll be all right with that.
And like set pieces,
as long as set pieces, and I'll be all right with that so long as it's a good movie.
Yeah, it's so hard to like. This is where sometimes I wish I hadn't, like for instance for Tomb Raider, right? Like I wish I hadn't played the game, because like it was one of the better game movies in recent years.
The reboot Tomb Raider.
Reboot.
I haven't seen the other one.
It's not bad. And even with me having played the game a million times, it's not bad. It is one of the better ones that had come out in the last 10, 15 years, right? But it still had plenty of issues, right? Like they completely twisted the supernatural aspect of the game. And then they added some extra elements that were totally, I don't think they were needed. like at all. And then they kind of entirely changed narrative points completely. Like the fact that her dad is alive, which that's not true in the games. Or at the bare minimum, he's missing. But
Assumed dead.
yeah, assumed at the worst he's dead. At the minimum, he's missing, assumed
Yeah.
dead, right? And so like that was weird. And like, but it started off like with like an intro kind of splash thing or whatever. And it was, I think she was narrating it, the actress Alicia, but if not, it was some other little woman. And they were talking about Himiko, and I was like, okay, great, good start. Because that was the situation in the game. Like an old sun goddess Himiko, you know, is what cursed, she like cursed the island and all that shit, right? So I was like, okay, great, good start, keeping it real. It's great. And then it like a little bit like, and it starts off with her like beating people up, whatever. Like all right, cool. She's gritty because this new Stream Raider, this new lore was
Yeah.
gritty and shit. All right, I can roll with it. And then the way she gets to the island is completely changed, and it's like overcomplicated. I don't understand. Like, okay, I don't know if you played the reboot Tomb
Yeah,
Raider,
I
but
did.
like I know the crew that she's with they're not the most pragmatic, like the most charismatic people besides Roth. But they didn't even have Roth in the fucking movie. Like, at the bare minimum, I was expecting Roth, right? I was expecting Roth to be there. But since they kept her dad alive, there's no need for Roth
Yeah.
because Roth was the father
Yeah,
figure.
father
So
figure.
like, but like I know everyone else could have been omitted. I don't care about anyone else, right? But Roth should have been in there. Um, and also like when she eventually does get to the island, which again I told you it's a completely clusterfuck. She has to go to like, I don't know where she went, Malaysia or something, some island nation, and then she somehow was able to steal a boat or like jumped on someone else's boat and just joyride. I don't remember, but it was so ridiculous. And then she gets there and there's a whole excavation going on. But like I was like, okay, yeah, there were people on the island in the game, but they were murderers, crazy people, cultists. These people were like, it was like some archaeologist dude who like was like, he had like his own people and he also enslaved the local people. And I was like, there were no local people on that island in the game. And then he's looking for Himiko, I believe, or something else in like this digging site. And that's his whole purpose for being there. And then she's basically realized that she needs to stop him because she finds her dad, and her dad was trying to stop him. And I'm like, okay, now we've just gone off the rails completely. And I was like, this is getting ridiculous. Like honestly, you could have kept the narrative. Like, it's supernatural, involves cultists. You could have kept that in the game and tweaked it, make it all Hollywoodified. You could have kept that. What's all these local people? What's this digging site? What's this archaeology aspect to it? There was none of
Well,
that.
so
There was none of that.
I was gonna mention about the Uncharted movie, is that I feel like they are going to get rid of or severely lessen 1 and 2's supernatural stuff. Because like by 3 and especially 4, there was no supernatural stuff in the
Three
games.
had it.
What
I don't know about four, but three
what
had it
did
for
3
sure.
have? It was supernatural.
It's not, well, like the other two ones before it. It doesn't really start showing till the end of the
Yeah.
game. But the three, it like, so once you got to, I forget what Indian or I
Was
don't
it
know
the
what the
Golden
exact culture is the
City
right.
in the third one?
You got to somewhere, right? Something in the Middle East. You got to, once you get there, you're fighting these like, I can't describe anything else off the top of my head besides like these like weird ghost people, like these flame ghost people or something. And like when you shoot them, but they kind of look like demons, kinda. More like Middle Eastern inspired style demons. But like it's like when you shoot them, they kind of like poof into, but like, and they also like appear like instantly, like in this cloud of
Mm.
like smoke
Maybe
and
I'm
stuff
forgetting
like that.
that.
It
But
was there though. I mean,
my
granted,
guess
it wasn't as crazy as first two, but it was
my
there.
guess is that they're gonna do away with that or not have it as much of it. Like I think they're gonna go for a grounded Indiana Jones. Like Indiana Jones had their crazy shit too, but like I feel like it's gonna be more grounded, which
And it's
because
fine.
they don't
That's
want to
fine.
scare people away with the weird shit.
And you can have that. That's fine. I don't need a supernatural aspect into the movie. I don't need that. That's not necessary. It's the people. It's how they're portraying the characters. You know, we don't, like you said, We play those games because we love the character, we love the story that's being told, the narrative that's being presented to us. I mean, all the extra stuff is nice, it's great, but like at the end of the day, it's those characters, it's that narrative that drives everything, right? That's what you remember the most. You don't remember like you didn't remember the supernatural from 3, but you remember the characters, remember like some of the plot, some of the narrative, because that's what matters most. And so like when you're not seeing that represented very well, and then what you do see, you're just like it seems too much like a cash in, and it sucks to see. Like it's like when I saw him doing the huge airplane bit from Uncharted 3, I was like, of course, I'm like, of course they did that, because I remember when Uncharted 3 came out, they hyped that part of the game up to
And
hell
see, I
when
did
that was
I
coming out.
did think that he was a little bit witty during that part, like especially when he gets hit by the car.
Just because he says, "Oh crap," does not make him witty,
I don't
man.
know. It was at least enough, like.
It would have been fine if he had other stuff with it, but like if that's the one thing, like that's not witty to me. That's just like a
But
happenstance.
we'll see. We'll see. I would say okay. So we're dogging on stuff now. So like, what is an example that you have of a good video game? You like video game adaptation in either like in film, so it could be TV or um, movie.
Geez, well, TV's even a shorter list, so I'm not even going to bother with
I got
that.
one for
I
TV,
will
but
give
it's kind of iffy
I
one.
will give I will give The Last of Us show a shot though. I will give that a shot
I
because
haven't
I
heard of it.
felt yeah, I think it's on HBO. It's coming to HBO, I believe. If not that, at Netflix, one of those two
I'll
for
have to look
sure.
it up.
Um, and they got. Did you watch Wonder Woman 1984?
Hmm?
Wonder Woman 1984,
No,
the
no,
second
I
one.
did not yet. No.
No, Serena didn't make you watch that. Um, do you know the villain that was the main villain dude for that movie? Look him up. He's playing Joel, and at first you're like, what? Because like the dude in the movie, he's like a really clean cut, like businessman kind type of
Yeah.
guy, like super sleazeball dude. Um, but I don't know if he grew out a beard or they gave him a beard. But when he has that beard on, he actually looks pretty
Nice.
convincing. Honestly, I was actually shocked. I was shocked because when I first heard, I was like, I don't know. But when I saw that beard, I was like, fuck, you turned into Joel in front of my eyes. I forget who's playing Ellie. Honestly, I don't care as much. I'm like I just want to make sure she just acts like Ellie
I get
for
you.
that. I don't care if it looks the same. I just want her to be
Mm.
Ellie. But Joel, part of it is that look. I don't know why I'm biased towards his than her
Because
character,
you
but it is
played
what
as
is what
him.
it is. Maybe yeah, that's probably a good point. And since I didn't play the second one yet, that makes sense. Anyways, I will give that a shot, but obviously it's not out yet, so can't say anything. But as far as a movie, I mean, I haven't seen that many because I'm smart. Um, and because also a lot of them were like in the mid 2000s, and so like I couldn't just freely go see a movie whenever I
Yeah.
wanted to. You have to like ask your parents to take you to movies or something, or a friend, or so like um yeah. So I actually haven't seen a whole lot of them, but I have known a lot of them, and most of them are absolutely
Yeah.
garbage. I I thought about maybe trying to watch the Doom only because the Rock's in it.
It's horrible.
Um, But no, I know it's horrible. I know it's horrible. I know it's one of the. Was that one of the ones directed by Uwe Boll?
No idea.
That
No
guy.
idea.
Uh, you know that name? Do you know that name by the way? He he's like a really shitty director. But for some odd reason he kept getting the licenses to various video game franchises and making movies out of them. And they're all bad. All bad. He had one I think he might have done Doom, but I think he did one on like oh god, I think Far Cry, and
That had to have been
oh
straight
man,
to.
it's off the tip of my head. The franchise is off the tip of my head, but he's done like 3 or 4, maybe even 5, but they're all garbage. And a few years back, he actually, and because people rag on him all the time, everywhere, because he sucks, but he responded back with like a tantrum about all this, like trying to respond back to
Yeah.
critics and shit, and then people just kept ragging on him more. Um, there is. I'm trying to think of other ones that I've seen, if not just bits and pieces. Um, I never. So I didn't see Resident Evil, but like you can hardly count that because that doesn't. They knew from the very beginning. Let's just make our own thing. Um, I have seen bits of Silent Hill. I saw the ending of it. Um, where whoever it was fighting Pyramid Head in some kind of like flaming room or some shit like that. So I don't know how the whole movie was as a whole, but I was like, well, it makes sense to have Pyramid Head be your final, adversary. So I was like, all right, that's cool. Um, like I didn't watch the Dead or Alive one. I didn't watch Street Fighter. I've seen bits of Mortal Kombat, the old one. I don't know which is which either because we were really young when those
Yeah.
were out. So I saw. I think I probably seen bits of both, and it was super cool. But then again, like I saw it when I was a child, right? Like one bit I saw was Liu Kang. I think did his bicycle kick on probably Shang Tsung in some building, and then he flew off a ledge into a bunch of spikes on the floor, and I was like, "That's fucking dope." And then I saw another bit where I think it was probably towards the end where like a few of the Earthrealm heroes were fighting different Outworld villains. So like one person had Goro, one person had I think Shiva, one person had probably Shao Kahn, but they're all spread out. You know how they do that sometimes. Everyone's fighting someone separately. And I remember Jax did his ground pound thing, which I thought was super cool. And then I saw like Liu Kang turn into a dragon, and with that terrible CGI dragon, and then like eat whoever that was. That was cool, but like it's not fair to judge because like I was so
Mhm.
young. I didn't care. It was like you turn into a goddamn dragon. That's awesome. I'm like, I don't care. I'm like 11.
Well,
But
I've
as far as a good one, it's Tomb Raider.
Tomb Raider.
Honestly, it's Tomb Raider.
So I've
Hmm.
I've seen a lot more. I've seen a lot. So I'll just name
Why?
off a couple.
Why have you
I
seen
don't
so
know. I
many?
don't know. I see shit. All right. Assassin's Creed was terrible.
You saw that?
Yeah.
You saw that?
Yeah.
Well, your question though was what was a good one
I
you
know.
saw?
I know. But I'm see. I was trying
You
to think of
actually
one.
saw that?
Yes.
See, you probably were suckered in because it was Michael Fassbender, and you're like, oh, he'll save this movie. Like, no, an actor can't save a script, bro. He
So
can't save a
yeah,
bad
Assassin's
script.
Creed was bad. Prince of Persia was bad. Uh,
Oh, I think I saw
yeah,
that.
Prince of
I
Persia
think I
was
saw that.
bad.
That was so cookie cutter. It was
Yeah.
ridiculous.
So I would say most of them are bad. Like the only ones that have been good. So like the original Mortal Kombat is
Decent.
okay. The first one is
But
is
by the standards of video game movies, it's like
yeah,
the top
it's
of the
up
line.
there and it's a cult classic. That
Hmm.
being said, the second one was terrible. Um, same with Street Fighter. It's a cult classic for a lot of like just razzy.
Isn't all the bad
Yeah, all
reasons? Isn't it
the
for
bad
all the
reasons.
bad
Yes, all the
reasons?
bad reasons. Um, now the new Mortal Kombat is actually pretty solid. It's pretty dope. There's a like I would say that's probably the best one I've seen. Um, the new Mortal Kombat. It was done really well. The action scenes are actual martial artists fighting, which is a lot better than the shadow boxing they were doing in the original movie. Um, uh, the my kind of like not fair one
Hmm.
is The Witcher on Netflix because it
Oh yeah.
has it has references to the game, but it
Hmm.
is more an adaptation of the books.
Oh, they went with the books.
Yeah, it has a lot of
Okay.
references to the games, but it
Hmm.
is definitely more an adaptation of the books. But that is by far the best one if you include that. Um, but yeah, I mean, there's not a lot. The problem is the same problem that they have with anime, is that you, the medium doesn't translate very well because like it just the way you play a game, the way you experience a game, it doesn't translate to a movie. You know, because you remember the narrative in almost a first person kind of view. Um, and it just doesn't work the same way in a movie. Anime is just way too out there. There's a whole bunch of stuff that just like we could never do that in a movie, that kind of stuff. So I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. I just hope it's a good movie. That's my main thought. Is if it's a good movie, I can be like, okay, I can see where they've taken inspiration from Uncharted, but I'm not expecting it to be, you know, I'm gonna try to go in there without thinking about what I know of Uncharted.
I won't be able to do that. So my plan is to go in with my expectations as low as they possibly can be, so that I can't be disappointed.
Just like
I can
that's
either
what I
come out
expected.
being like exactly what I expected or being like, okay, it's
And
a little better than
we'll
I
have to do
thought.
a little on after we both see it. on a podcast. We'll have to do a little
Oh yeah,
quick like,
we'll do a follow up.
but
We'll do a follow up and talk
but
about it.
yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. People, if you know of a really good movie game adaptation that we aren't thinking about, that we haven't seen or talked about, leave that in the comments below. Let us know. Let us know what your favorite was, if we mentioned it. Let us know what you think the Uncharted movie is going to be like, or the Last of Us TV series. Like, are you excited? Are you going to see it? That kind of stuff.
I looked up real quick. We were talking about Mortal Kombat. I was curious what Metacritic had it at.
The new one
currently.
or the last one?
The new one. The new one. And critically, it is terrible. As like a 4 or something, right? But users like a 6.3, right? Which of course that's what I expect.
Pretty good.
But I think I mean, I don't know. I haven't looked up every single movie game review ever, but I think that there's hasn't been one video game aspired movie critically that did well. Like users probably loved it, right? Like, the fans or just moviegoers would like it, but critically, maybe the first Tomb Raider with Angie, because that was like at the height of her career. I think that one might have actually done okay critically, but I can't think of any other one. Well, I think maybe Tomb Raider, I think might have been okay as well. But like the best we've ever gotten is okay, never great. But yeah, we'll have to see what happens. I don't have my hopes high. This is definitely not going to be a premiere weekend view for me at all. I wish you were coming in February instead of December, because then we could try to watch it together.
For sure.
Yeah, that'd be super dope.
Or you could come up here. You could come down here in February.
Isn't it like cold as hell over there?
No, by February it'll be warm again.
Will it? Unless you get another winter storm that your government won't help you fix.
But no, it'll be warm. It'll be warm again by February.
Oh man, but yeah, we'll have to see what happens. Let us know if you guys are even going to see it, if it even excites you at all.
For sure.
And if you have played it, does that sway how you view this trailer, or if you have seen it, or view your thoughts on the movie as a whole?
Yeah, I definitely want to know what people thought of the trailer if you haven't played the game. That'd be really interesting. So if you haven't played the game and you've seen the trailer, or if you haven't played the game, go Google the trailer and tell us what you think of the trailer.
Yeah, do all that. Do it now. Do it.
All right, guys.
But yeah, guys.
Thanks for joining us again.
If you like this, like, comment, subscribe. If you like this, we'll be back next week talking about something else. We will see you guys then. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.